Our next guest has been the personal trainer for NBA legends such as Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Dwyane Wade. He's also the author of Relentless. Tim Grover, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Tim, you know superstars probably better than anyone. So how do you think that Kevin Durant will fit in with the Warriors?
Oh, he's going to fit in great with the Warriors. For him, it's a perfect situation. This kind of tells us that how bad things really were in OKC, where you get this close to being champions or getting there, and then he decides just to leave. So it's a lot more behind the story than everything we've seen.
So I love the book that you wrote, your last one, Relentless. And in it, for the first time, you detailed 3 categories of stardom. We can apply it to NBA stars: cleaner, closer, and cooler. Cleaner being the Jordan-esque sort of top.
Correct.
Just give us quick capsules on how you break down those levels of stardom.
Well, a cooler is your role player on your team. Everybody needs one. He's a guy you can count on every single time to do his job. You're not going to get anything exceptional from him. He just does his job.
But has star quality. I mean, he has some talent about him.
Everyone has talent.
Yeah.
I mean, to play in a professional sport, you have to have talent. I mean, guys say all the time, you get me, I can play in the league. No, you can't play in the league. You can't play in the football league. You can't play in the soccer league. No, you can't. The worst guy on any team is 10 times better than the armchair person.
Okay, so the middle category is the closer.
The middle category is a closer. The closer is the individual who is a star, all right, who delivers sometimes, needs help from his teammates. And the last one is the cleaner. Your cleaner is
top of the line.
Your ultimate competitor. That delivers the end result, is obsessed with winning. This is their addiction.
So it would be Jordan. Can we put Dwyane in there?
You can put Dwyane in there. You know, the thing about a cleaner is a lot of people fall in and out of that category because it takes a lot to stay in that mental focus year round, and that's just not everybody's makeup.
Okay,
you know?
so back to Kevin Durant. I've always considered Kevin, as gifted as he is, in the middle category of the closer. Maybe he needs some help around him. Is that fair to say that he needed Golden State to get to that next level?
Yeah, exactly. From a physical standpoint, everybody, and skill standpoint, you look at Kevin Durant, he's got all the tools. I mean, he can get to the basket. Even as wiry as he is, he has great basketball strength. And that's why I try to tell people, he's not a weight room guy, but he has great basketball strength. But he definitely needs that support. He needs that supporting cast around him.
And is Steph bordering on that top category? Has he been in the cleaner category?
Yeah, Steph has definitely been in the cleaner category. The interesting thing about that team is Steve Kerr is a cleaner on that team.
Interesting.
Well, he's going to be the individual that's going to determine how successful that team's going to be, because he's got to control how many minutes, who gets the ball. You know, they love to rest players. That's the one thing. They love to rest players. And he's going to have to do a lot of management. He's got to make sure he doesn't undercoach and he doesn't overcoach. So he's actually the cleaner that's pulling all the strings on that team.
Can you be a cleaner and not win a championship?
Can you be a cleaner and not win a championship? I would say yes. All right. You can be a cleaner and not win a championship because you need help. You need help from the others. The biggest thing about being a cleaner is the category that I put in there. Can you elevate your teammates around you? All right, you get a lot of individuals that don't win championships and end up being cleaners in other things. All right, but the ability to elevate your teammates and have them come up to your level and you not come down to their level, that's the ultimate thing about being a cleaner.
Obviously, you work with Jordan, and that's the guy that kind of thrust you into the limelight. But what do you expect from LeBron this season, and how do you see him playing as he's getting older in age and they try to manage his minutes?
You know, I just saw something in the back. I can't believe it's going to be his 14th season. It's unbelievable. LeBron's going to do what LeBron always does, all right? And I heard your conversation earlier about whether he's going to be the MVP or not. Yeah. If LeBron wants to be the MVP, he'll be the MVP. I don't think so. That's what's extremely important to him. All right, it's building his legacy. He said he wants to chase the ghost. Everyone knows who the ghost is. I think something that LeBron can do that would be really interesting is see if he can get Kyrie to win the MVP. That's something that hasn't been done before. And to see if he can elevate a teammate who has that ability.
You think he would?
I think he would. I think LeBron is the
don't
one
know.
person on that team in the league who he knows that if he can take Kyrie to that next level, that it will ultimately help him.
But wouldn't it help Kyrie's cause that when LeBron rests, they win games? Because normally when LeBron rests and Kyrie plays, they don't win. But when Kyrie rests and LeBron plays, they win. So wouldn't it help his cause if they won more when LeBron is resting?
Oh, yes, it definitely would. You know, that's the next step I said about if you want to reach that status is elevating your teammates around you. You know, you've seen that. You've played.
Right.
You know, so it's the ability to elevate the teams. And that's the one thing LeBron's, wherever he's gone, he's able to elevate his teammates.
So you obviously worked very closely with Dwyane Wade. How surprised were you that Pat Riley didn't fight harder to have him end his career in Miami?
Yeah, it was surprising. I don't know if Pat didn't fight harder. I think this just kind of manifested over time. You know, I have huge respect for both of those guys. I feel that at some point, Dwyane will end up back in Miami.
Do you really?
I really do. I really do.
Do you like
All right?
that?
I love that.
Okay.
Listen, I haven't spoken to Dwyane about this. I haven't spoken to Pat about this. It's just a gut feeling of mine. I do have a feeling at some point he'll finish his career in Miami. Dwyane's going to have a successful time in Chicago. Dwyane has the ability to help his teammates elevate. He's not looking to be the man anymore, but he's still looking to compete and to win. And having Rondo there and Jimmy Butler, he's already said, hey, this is Jimmy Butler's team. So he understands his role and where he is in his stage of career.
And how much does he have left in that body of his with those two rickety, sort of shaky knees that he has?
You know, earlier when we did the other show, I said he had 4 good years left in him, and 2 have gone. So I say he's got at least another 2.
Really?
Yeah, I really do. I mean, he really takes exceptional care of himself. I mean, you don't see all the stuff that you see off the basketball court becomes more important than the stuff you see on the basketball court.
We hear everyone talk about Russell Westbrook and how great a talent he is. Would you compare his talent? Is he the greatest talented player in NBA history? Or would you compare, say, Michael, or who would you say? Because I like Russell myself, his abilities.
I love Russell. I think Russell's a new Kobe Bryant from a mentality standpoint, from having that, you know, I don't say you have a chip on your shoulder. I say carry the chip inside you, because if you have it on your shoulder, somebody knocks it off. So I say carry it inside. So he carries it inside. Now, with him, what he's going to have to do is he's going to have to let his teammates be a part of the process. He has to, and that's his biggest flaw right now. He says he just doesn't trust his teammates, because he says, I can do it all. That's why I can do it all, and I can do it better than you. Just give me the ball and get out the way.
But he had KD. I mean,
right. And you know what? It's funny. They brought Scott Brooks was a coach.
Right.
Then they brought in Billy Donovan.
Right.
I think the issue was they should have just put those two together. Sometimes the coaches just can't work things out, and the players have to do it.
Right.
All right. I think the players just needed to I think those two needed to get together and just figured it out. You know, Kobe and Shaq figured it out for a while. All right. I think that if they could have just figured it out, they would have been a dynamic duo.
So how do you compare what burns inside of Russell Westbrook, whatever that rage is, that killer instinct, whatever you want to describe it as, how does it compare to Michael Jordan's?
Oh, very similar. Very, very similar. Russell is a little bit more, he's more emotional than Michael. Michael had that stone cold face, and he just went out there and did his job. And Russell has the same thing, but he plays. The difference with Russell is Russell has a tendency to play with a lot of emotions. I like a guy or an individual that plays with one emotion. All right, so that way, if they're only playing with one emotion, you can tell whether they're getting out of their game or they're staying in the game. You see the greatest. Michael played with one emotion. Kobe played with one emotion. Russell has a tendency to play with emotions, and when you play with emotions and you add that little S to the end of it, it has a tendency to throw your game off.
We look at how Russell and KD, they parted ways, but can 2 apex alphas play together for an extended period of time? Because Kobe, he felt he had to get away from Shaq because that was going to harm his legacy, because he was always going to say, yeah, you won championships, but you had the most dominant force with you. Could these guys have played, even working it out and talking it out, could they have stayed together for, say, the bulk of their careers?
Not the bulk of their careers, but they should have stayed together to at least win one or two championships.
Okay.
Listen, winning that championship, it cures a lot of things. It cures a lot of things. I mean, even within the Bulls days, going back in there, they weren't friends off the court. They didn't hang out together.
Right.
But once you stepped out onto that basketball field, it was basketball court. It was no longer about style. It was about identity.
Right.
Everybody had a different style when you get off the court, but when you get on the surface, whether it's a football, baseball, basketball, you got to have one identity.